Hello everyone, my name is Fausto German, and the name of my project is ViTopic, Topic Modeling on Images by Clustering of Vision Transformer Embeddings. Image data plays a critical role in many fields such as social media analysis, medical research, agriculture, the entertainment industry, and environmental analysis. However, collecting, sorting, clustering, and labeling large amounts of data can be a challenging and time-consuming task that often requires significant human resources. Moreover, even after clustering images based on visual cues, human intervention is still needed to interpret the contents of the clusters of images. So the primary objective of this project is to create a tool that can help people automatically cluster images into groups and generate topic descriptions for each cluster. By automating this process, the system will significantly reduce labor costs and will make image data analysis more available. The main method behind many of the image clustering systems implemented today use some type of contextual visual similarity to identify similarities between images. In the case of the main article I am referencing for this project, the authors use three images, a query, a positive example, and a negative example to define a contextualized similarity search criteria. However, this only helps to find similar images given a query and a dataset of other images. This project takes that one step further and finds the pairwise similarity in the dataset by computing the inverse Euclidean distance between the vision transformer embeddings. This project combines the work from recent research on computer vision models and topic modeling techniques such as the swing transformer models, which have demonstrated high accuracy on image classification tasks, the blip vision and language understanding models for image captioning, and the ViTopic model, which uses clustering of sentence embeddings to generate high-quality topic clusters. So, with that in mind, how do we go about clustering a collection of unlabeled images and generating text descriptors for the topic clusters based on the visual context? Well, one way to do this is to first assign each image to a cluster based on the similarities between their vision transformer embeddings. Then, describe the images using an image captioning model, and finally, generate topic descriptors based on the frequency of words in the captions. Now, for the purposes of this project, I decided to use the ImageNet dataset, which is a subset of the ImageNet project. I decided to use this subset because it is readily available in the Hugging Face platform and contains ground truth labels, which will be useful for quantifying the performance of the model. Okay, now let's talk about the interesting part. As you can see, the full system looks a bit complicated, but I will break it down into each of the major parts of the project. So the first part is to generate embeddings and captions from the images. So to do that, to generate the embeddings, I use the Vision Transformer model from Microsoft, specifically the Swim-based patch for Windows 12 384 in 22K model, which is available in the Hugging Face library. And to generate text captions, I used the Bleep captioning model from Salesforce, specifically the Bleep image captioning large, which is also available in Hugging Face. Once we have embeddings, we are able to generate a similarity matrix from those embeddings using some kind of similarity function. It can be any similarity function, but the one that I found to work well for this project is this custom similarity function that I derived, which I am calling the normalized inverse Euclidean distance. Once you have computed the similarity scores, you're able to sort the entries of the matrix by their values, so such that higher values appear first, and you're able to query the first 20 or 30 images that are related to your query. A side note about the similarity function is that, again, you can use any similarity function that you would like, but for my case, I decided to use the normalized inverse Euclidean distance. And what I mean by that is that any vector, to compute the similarity between two vectors, if the second vector lays within a certain radius from the query vector, then that vector is going to have a high similarity. In this case, the radius is half the length of the original of the query vector, and so any vector that lays within that radius will have a high score. Note, so like I said, you can use any kind of similarity function. So why not the cosine similarity function, which is used pretty often? Well, in the case of images, vision embeddings are not able to capture the similarity or the polarity of images very well. So if you have an image of a cat, or an image of a chair, these two images sound like they should be very polarly different. But because cats appear in houses and so do chairs, um, the vision transformer embeddings are going to capture the environment as well, and so it's going to capture that similarity also. So cosine similarity doesn't work very well. Now for the context-guided topic model, once you have generated embeddings, you can use that and pass it through a dimensionality reduction technique. For the purposes of this project, I used the UMAP, which is able to capture the density of the vectors in high dimension while also projecting them into a lower dimension. Once you have lowered the dimension of the embeddings, you can pass it through some kind of clustering algorithm. Again, for this project, I use the HTV-scan model or algorithm, which is a density-based hierarchical clustering algorithm, which works very well with UMAP. Once you have assigned cluster to each one of the images, you can combine both the cluster information and the text captions to generate a class-based term frequency inverse document frequency matrix. And once you have that matrix, then you can query the relevant words in each one of the clusters. For the results, as you can see, it works for the visual similarity search works very well. If I give it a query of a dog, it's able to find other images of dogs in the dataset that are similar to that image. Same thing for radios. However, it is not a perfect solution. So in this case, when I give it a query of a main fishing, it sometimes gives images of chainsaws with high confidence. So this image is not it's not about fishing, it's about chainsaws, and it's giving it the third placement related to this image. And also, these two images are about radios, which have nothing to do with fishing. Now, for the context-guided topic model, it actually works very well. I was able to generate topic descriptors for each one of the clusters in the dataset. So once I was able to project the data to 2 dimensions, I was able to plot it. And so each one of these represents one of the clusters. And as you can see, we have 10 clusters, which is the number of classes we have in the ImageNet dataset. So that gives us a clue that this worked very well. Another thing to note is that remember that in here, this one shows images of chainsaws together with fish, and we can see that those images are kind of overlapped in here in that projection. So topic number 8, which is about chainsaws, is this topic over here, and then topic number 2 or topic number 1, which is about fishing, is this topic over here. And as you can see, there is some overlap between the two. So that kind of explains why the model was confusing the two in the similarity search. So in conclusion, using vision transformer embeddings with image captioning is a viable method for clustering images based on context topics. But prioritizing neighboring vectors within the same clusters could improve the result of the visual similarity search. Another thing that could help improve the model is using newer vision models, since they will be trained using more data and for longer periods of time. And another way that we could improve the system is to use transfer learning to retrain the vision models on the specific task that we have at hand. So that way the model knows specifically what to look for in the dataset. So that is all for my presentation. Thank you for watching.